Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to the videos of the paid request, this time for the movie reviewer next door. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for Evidence from 2013, which, funny enough, there's another film called Evidence that came out like 2012. I would say I like that film a lot more than this. I hated this movie. I hated this movie. I thought it was absolutely awful. It sucked dick. And I should have known just from the director of The Fourth Kind, which that was another gigantic piece of crap. Anything that the director of The Fourth Kind touches is going to turn to shit. Because he's a terrible director. The Fourth Kind was an awful as hell movie, and I should have known that that guy would not get better. Because the original, like I said, the other film called Evidence, it's very typical at the beginning. It's found footage, but what I appreciate is at the end, it just went balls out insanity, and I kind of commended for that because it wasn't what I expected. It's not great, but it did better than this. The opening to this film is somewhat interesting. The setup to it, where it showcases this crime scene. It's done visually where everyone looks like they're frozen, and the camera's circling throughout all these people in the crime scene where everyone's frozen. And then this evidence is put into the hands of this group of people that's going to survey all of the footage. So it's part film, part found footage. The film part is the detectives, including Rhoda Mitchell, who I do like. Pitch Black, this underrated film called Road with Sam Worthington. The first Silent Hill movie. Her and this other actor, a few other detectives and surveillance people that could deal with footage and honing in on it, enhancing it. They're studying this footage as if it's a very overlong episode of CSI. Which, hell, I love CSI Miami. But every single episode of that show is better than this. And the thing is that people like Rhoda Mitchell don't really have much to do other than stare at a screen. Enhance. What's that? What's this over here? Like they have nothing else to do to... For me, it's a waste of Rhoda Mitchell's talent. The other people I was really done on. I think the other detective gave a fairly bad performance. It had some amateur acting to him. I don't remember his name. I don't care to. Now, a chunk of it is the footage they're watching, and this is like a typical found footage type of thing with so-so acting, uninteresting story, characters that are thin as hell, no sense of steers. It's just tedious to watch. It's two girls. One wants to be an actress and does a play. Her boyfriend tries to propose to her. She says no. He's pissed off. But he ultimately does join them for this trip, even though he's mad about it. They're going to Vegas, the three of them. Also on the bus is this bus driver named Ben. The 16-year-old runaway, which you get the idea he wants to be a magician. This other lady who's a dancer. And this other lady who's a crusty older woman who we find out has a bag of money. So these 7 people are on the bus. And pretty much the bus is in the middle of nowhere because they're supposed to pick someone up. They accidentally hit some barbed wire, so the bus is out of commission. Which, when you get to the ending of the film, makes me wonder how that barbed wire came to be. Well, I'll get to that in a few minutes. The way the camera's going everywhere, I could not tell what the hell was going on half the time. And it's one of those movies, found footage films, that there's distortion all the time. Like every other 2 minutes is like distortion, so you can't see what's going on, and the sound was irritating. So if you listen to it, you want to lower down the volume. The constant distortions were irritating as hell. And I'm not a guy that hates found footage. Literally on my letterbox here, I have a list of like my favorite found footage movies. Or films dealing with the point of view, like of a computer or stuff. So whether that be The Blair Witch Project, Searching, The Tunnel, Hardcore Henry, As Above So Below, Butterfly Kisses, Savage Land, Exist, Digging Up the Marrow, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Lizzie Vernon, Into the Storm, Afflicted. Into the Storm is questionable because sometimes it is Afflicted, Zero One, Population Zero, Horror in the High Desert, Instant Alotness, Lake Mungo, They're Watching, The Taking Deborah Logan, The Sacrament, Operation Avalanche, Howard's Bill, even films like Fake Blood, or even the Poughkeepsie tapes. These are films I don't hate. These are films I actually do not mind or enjoy. But for every one of those, there's a lot more that are bad. And again, we can't understand what's going on. The only thing of interest is, of course, there's a killer amongst them, is the way the killer dresses and their weapon. They're dressed up in this welding mask, and they have this like acetylene torch, like a cutter. So you see like it can like burn someone's arm off, set them on fire. But when it's done, it's either you can tell it's CG or the camera's going like this, so then you discombobulated. And it's not as much of a big body count as you think, and it's not tons of blood, gore of that nature either. It's, okay, the 16-year-old went somewhere, he comes out covered in blood, they don't know what happened. They're following, what the hell? The boyfriend disappears for like a good chunk of the movie. You find out why. This one woman, I guess the camera has infrared, like night vision. And so this woman's looking for something, but she gets grabbed. We see from far away she gets a limb cut off and gets burned up. There's some chasing going on. At one point they hide in the bus. And Ben tries to get in, but then there's blood on him. At one point he's being chased and it looks like he trips. And it'll cut back to our wannabe CSI, which they're so stupid they should get their badge from the bottom of a Cracker Jack box. And the director, every time it goes to them, the camera swirls. It swirls this way. It swirls this way. It'll go in a circle. So each time it's like, or imagine the camera's like, or this, or this. Every single time. Take a shot every time you fucking see that. I'm like, we did it, dude. We did it. They do that times at CSI, but better. It's not, 90 minutes long. And so at one point, they realize that some of this footage has gone out to the media and they don't understand how. They talk to one of the survivors and she tells a story, and the male detective, he thinks something else is up. The 16-year-old, they realize there's something in his throat, in the body, and it's a memory, like a memory card. They find more footage, and then let's spoiler. I'm gonna spoil the hell out of this movie. Then oh my god, it must be the boyfriend. Does he see him in the welding mask? And then it has one of the dumbest endings I have seen in a long time. So before you get to that, the movie is fairly boring. The CSI detective scenes don't bring anything to the table. The actors are wasted just staring and looking at stuff. They don't really offer much input, much insight, much dialogue into the proceedings. The found footage is a lot of shaking, a lot of distortions. You can barely see what the hell's going on. A lot of streaming. At least if like Blair Witch, you're with that that group of three throughout the entire running time, and it's more subtle and it's drawn in, and we're drawn to the story. And there's no annoying distortions. It's like the distortions are put in there to wake the audience member up. That's what it seems like. Electric shots. And I do mean shots, not shots. As in, or shot in your face. It was so boring because why should I care about these characters? These two ladies that want to make it, okay, that's all we know. The boyfriend that disappears, the 16-year-old that we only know a handful of things of. At first they think it's this old lady's husband who was in the war and suffered PTSD, but then they realize, no, we found the body, he's been dead for a week. We found out why the lady has his money is for other reasons. I'm going to jump to the ending. When Rhoda Mitchell is talking to the press on who this killer is, and by the way, that guy's alive. He's in the hospital. Immediately, the media gets this info that someone has uploaded other footage, and the killer are the two ladies. They're the two ladies, and they acted, and as one of them said, I'm good at editing. They shot all this footage. They edited it all together to make it seem like they're not the killers. And then with this footage, we see that they stabbed the 60-year-old kid. The outtakes show what they were capable of. And then they come to the camera and goes, hey, if someone's shooting you, maybe you'll be in the sequel. Or if someone's filming you. If someone's filming you, maybe you'll be in the sequel. I'm like, I know what you look like, though. We all know who the hell you look like. So if I see you, I punch you in the face, you'll be in my sequel. Fistophobia. There you go. There's the sequel. The end. It's so counterproductive. You go, what the hell was the point? Think about it. They go to all this trouble. Number one, did they put the barbed wire in the road? What, did they travel to the middle of nowhere to put this barbed wire? Or were they lucky enough that because of these other circumstances, something else happened and the barbed wire stopped the bus? Either by circumstance, the bus was stopped by this barbed wire, and then lo and behold, we got a playground to do this. Or, again, what'd they do? Find out? I guess the bus driver does say we're supposed to pick up someone else here. So I guess you're to assume that they called, made an idea to go here, and thankfully the bus hit the barbed wire. Thankfully nobody else was on that road to hit the barbed wire. Otherwise their plan would have been shot to shit. So I can only assume that's what they did. Which makes you wonder, then why didn't they just put cameras up around the facility if they planned this out and they wanted to shoot it so much? And they could just edit all the stuff. But hey. So let's forego that. It's like, well, okay, it's a big reach, whatever. But then why take the time to edit it to fool the CSI people and the cops? And why frame a guy? They took all this time to frame this guy to just 5 minutes later go, oh, by the way, he was the killer. We're the killers. We framed him. We did all this. Here's our faces. Then what was the point? What was the point of framing him in the first place? Well, he didn't really do it. By the way, I'm sorry. You're at the hospital? Yeah, sorry, dude. I know we told everybody that you're the killer, but we were all made fools. So you're not the killer, so you just have a really shitty girlfriend. But you're alive, so it's all good and dandy. You frame him for a crime, but then you prove that he's innocent 5 minutes later. You hide all this stuff to hide your identity, but then you show everybody that you did it. Why hide and edit, we didn't do it, to then just show, yes, we did. And we actually went here to the camera and told you and showed our faces. So now your faces are everywhere. Now your looks are everywhere. You can't do a sequel. You're going to be on the run for the rest of your life. You don't have to go into hiding. And for what? For what reason? For what purpose? It makes jack shit of sense. It was just there to have like a Ditcha Saw ending. But it makes zero sense. It's stupid. It sucks. Even if you're into the film, this ending would completely ruin it. If you think about it for a minute, that none of it made sense. I'm going to frame you, but I'm going to prove you're not the killer. We're going to edit this to hide our identity, but we're going to tell the media, we did it. Ha ha. For what purpose? Like, we want to waste the CSI team's time for the giggles. But then we're going to, by the way, we know we messed with you for, I don't know, the 90 minutes it took you or however long. But surprise! What, they were in that a day? Like a day. They were looking at the evidence in a day. Wow, you wasted a day of time to make them look like fools. But then, honestly, people would go, well, you're fools too, because you just showed your identity, you idiots. You framed this guy, but then you proved his innocence, you idiots. This movie is completely stupid. It's boring. The look of the killer, I wish was in another traditional slasher movie. Like to have a slasher film where someone has a torch like that could burn in various ways with a superheat. Burn an arm off, burn fingers off, maybe char people's eyes. That could be a cool weapon to use. And I was surprised. Maybe there has been, I just haven't seen it. If so, tell me about it. But Radha Mitchell's a good actress, but she's wasted on this. Just them looking at the screen. The characters are really nothing of noteworthy to talk about. The camera work is shaky and irritating. And there's nothing that, other than the stupid ending, what else do you get out of this? It's not scary. It's not frightening. It's not suspenseful. I could tell you, like, okay, Blair Witch Project tells you It gives you an intriguing mythology on its basis in a subtle manner. Butterfly Kisses. It tells an interesting story of a filmmaker finding another filmmaker, and he wanted to be a filmmaker, but he was a failed filmmaker. But to edit this other person's footage, it could be his time to shine. It taking the piss out of found footage films, but at the same time shows the obsession. It also has an interesting mythology behind it. Savage Land, documenting how this town was destroyed and this person was blamed. Granted, they're pushing the blame on him as well. Granted, he was the only survivor, but also some racial tensions. There's some underlining themes going on in that movie. Digging Up the Marrow at least has a sense of humor. Like when Adam Green is showing the footage to Kane Hodder. Oh, nice special effects. Is this for a new Hatchet movie? Or something like that. Afflicted is an intriguing way of detailing a vampire story. But it's also almost like a superhero origin story. Has a very likable lead group of actors, the two leads. Lake Mungo is a good drama done in this fake documentary fashion. And then talk about sense of loss and trying to move on when you lose someone, and is something going on or not. Like, there's more food for thought than this damn movie. I know the movie reviewer next door really loved the film. I don't get it. Teach their own, though. That's fine. I think this director sucks. He doesn't know how to make a movie. They definitely don't know how to write a movie. You can watch plenty of episodes of CSI and get much more entertainment out of CSI New York, CSI Miami, CSI Regular, CSI Extra Crispy, CSI Malibu Most Wanted. See any of them. NCIS, NCIS LA, NCIS Hawaiian Nights. See anything. This was a waste of a movie. I guess some people on YouTube like it. I don't get it, but it's not my job to get it. It's just my honest opinion. We'll see you guys later. Bye for now.